watching Sun TV, broadcasting to the world from studios in Providenciales, in the beautiful by nature Turks and Caicos Islands. Sun TV, your source for real news as it happens.
SIPT makes another arrest. Cayman Islands Premier Bush arrested. Taxi drivers at the Providenciales International Airport upset about new conditions. A building built for police barracks is now an institution for academic and vocational studies. And the Ministry of Health makes a statement on reports of salmonella poisoning. I'm Leslie Garland. Thanks for watching. Just days after they issued a press release about the arrest of Michael Missick, who is former premier of the Turks and Caicos Islands, the Special Investigation and Prosecutions Team has announced the arrest of a 31-year-old man who was one of Missick's close aides. A press release issued late Tuesday from Neil Smith, the spokesman for the governor, on behalf of SIPT, said the man has not been charged and was released on bail until January 2013. Although Smith did not release the name of the individual in question, Sun TV can confirm that it is Kareem Higgs, a popular barber and a close friend of the former premier. According to sources, Higgs has been arrested on suspicion of aiding and abetting a fugitive. Last Friday, former Premier Michael Missick was arrested in the Brazilian capital of Rio de Janeiro by that country's federal police. The 46-year-old Missick was arrested while trying to board a domestic flight at the Santos Dumont airport. His arrest stemmed from an international arrest warrant that was issued by Interpol and further warrant issued by the Brazilian Supreme Court, and it was confirmed by the TCI Special Investigation and Prosecution Team. Missick, who was TCI's first premier, faces a number of serious charges relating to corruption and maladministration in the TCI. Reliable sources told Sun TV that members of the SIPT knew of Missick's whereabouts for quite some time, and they had a small dedicated team that was tracking him for many months, while they were processing various legal applications. Sun TV understands that regular updates on Missick's movements and whereabouts were being sent to officials in the UK, and that his presence in Brazil was even discussed while UK Minister for Overseas Territories Mark Simmons was in the Turks and Caicos Islands for the opening of Parliament in late November. In related news, the Premier of the Cayman Islands, Bush, has been arrested and is currently detained in police custody in connection with a number of ongoing police investigations. According to the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service, officers from their financial crime unit arrested the 57-year-old Bush at around 7 a.m. on Tuesday, the 11th of December, at his home in West Bay on the island of Grand Cayman. Mr. Bush has been arrested on suspicion of theft in connection with financial irregularities relating to the alleged misuse of a government credit card and breach of trust, abuse of office, and conflict of interest, contrary to certain sections in the Anti-Corruption Law 2008 of that country, in connection with the alleged importation of explosive substances without valid permits on or before February of 2012. Quote, "It would be inappropriate for the RCIPS to make any further comment in relation to these matters at this time. Further updates will be made available in due course," the RCIPS said. Bush, the British government, and the governor of the Cayman Islands have been having a rather stormy relationship over the past months. The Cayman Islands, which is the world's fifth largest financial center, it is a British overseas territory with a population of 54,000. It is located south of Cuba and northwest of Jamaica. Taxi drivers at the Providenciales International Airport in the TCI are outraged that the airport authority has been given the responsibility as delegated to them by the Director of Road Safety and Transportation in what they say is in the interest of the traveling public to ensure seamless coordination and operations. In a press release sent to Sun TV from TCIAA, the statutory board says that this coordination is now in effect for better taxi management. And whilst it is assumed the responsibility of the facility being currently occupied, users are expected to make a contribution of 65 cents per day for unlimited and unfettered access to the facility. This contribution by no means covers the cost that is incurred to facilitate them, and the representatives of their associations agreed that it would be ideal for the TCIAA to manage all aspects of collections. The cost is insignificant in comparison to the past cost of circa $125 per month levied before the TCIAA took management. Taxi drivers at the Providenciales International Airport were not pleased at the decision not to only charge them maintenance fees, but to block the taxi entrance to the parking lot. Minister of Environment and Home Affairs Honorable Portia Stubbs Smith, who was also responsible for road safety, and Leader of the Opposition Honorable Charlene Cartwright Robinson spoke to the situation at hand.
Our next step as a government is to ensure that our most important, or to ensure that our public service operators are operating efficiently and operating within the confines of the law. Because if you realize, or you check back, you will see that our most important product that we have as a country is tourism, and we have to ensure that the tourists coming to our nation are protected, and that we have people acting within the confines of the law and transporting our most important product, which is tourism. So as a government, we are going to work, because we're here to work on behalf of the people. And I hear the cries and the concerns of the taxi drivers, and hopefully we can resolve this issue very shortly. Well, the levy is to encompass those things such as parking and ensuring that we have the facilities necessary for sanitary means, and for persons to be sanitary. And that is why we came up with a fee. Well, we didn't come up with a fee by ourselves. We came up with a fee with their representatives at the table discussing with us basically their needs and their concerns, and then us coming together and negotiating at a price that we all can live with. Our quota is about 150 taxis, and we realize that this parking space is very small, and so this fee will allow us to maintain the facilities, the nice facilities for them, and it will also help us to look at further expanding the parking space. Like I said before, we must be within compliance. We cannot allow anyone to function non-compliant in this country, because if once we have operators or business persons acting non-compliant, what will happen is the country becomes liable for whoever is visiting our shores, as well as residents within the TCI. So we must look at that, and we have to look at all facets of what is happening here today before we make a decision, and the decision will come shortly.
Speaking with some taxmen behind the scenes, they're saying it was necessary for the park to be kept clean.
Right.
While some of the companies were not willing to foot the bill.
Right.
Hence what's happening now.
Right.
Some are saying that they don't want to pay at all.
Right.
Is this going to stand?
It's going to stand. We have to put a levy on it. We'd like the government to do everything, but the government is not able to economically sustain itself by doing everything for everyone. Okay, and so we as stakeholders must play a part. We must play a part in in our nation's development, in our nation's growth.
One of your representation is trying to get more.
My representation is to ensure that the TCI remains the best destination in the world. And how do we do that? By ensuring that everyone is on board.
Okay, with the levy requirements not taking effect until January 31st, why is an area blocked off?
We have a grace period until January 31st. Right. However, the public service operators license, some of them have expired before December 31st. Most of the licenses expire by December 31st of any year. And you must be in compliance to operate as a public service operator. There are several elements of being compliant as a public service operator, and they must comply with these things. Otherwise, they won't be allowed to access the TCIA parking facility.
Okay, so those cards that we saw that got them into the gates, everyone who is compliant has one of those.
Yes.
Invited here today by some of the taxi drivers simply because I was privy to sit in the meeting where a lot of the regulations, the new agreement was made. I was there along with other representatives that were invited from the police, from the Airports Authority. There were two other ministers of government that were invited, but they weren't available to attend. And I was a part of the discussions that formulated this new agreement. It is my understanding from our discussions in that meeting, and even from the minutes that we received after the meeting, that there was a grace period of recognizing that it's very difficult, the cost actually in the month of January for operators of taxi drivers, for operators of taxi. But we had agreed a grace period until the end of January. So I myself myself, I'm personally disturbed that they aren't given access, especially in the middle of this grace period. The new agreement should have taken effect the 1st of December, but in the midst of the grace period, they're supposed to have unfettered access until that date has passed. So I have gone already to the Airports Authority and spoken with Mr. Smith basically about our recollection and reviewed the minutes of the meeting that I sat in, and I've already updated Mr. Honorable Washington Smith, who I spoke to this morning, and he's asked me to call him after I would have met with Mr. Smith, and Mr. Smith is here. So I'm sure that taxi drivers will have on this issue.
This is Sun TV, real news as it happens. We'll be right back.
Carambola Grill and Lounge on Airport Road is open 7 days a week for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We have the largest and most affordable menu in the Turks and Caicos Islands. Carambola offers an excellent blend of local and international dishes in a fully air-conditioned and relaxing environment. Dining at Carambola is always a moment to remember. We also offer free shuttle service from hotels, full catering, and event planning. Plus, free delivery for 10 orders or more. Just call Carambola at 946-8122.
Young men on Providenciales who form themselves into violent groups to inflict injuries on each other cannot be classified as a gang, since they have not met the established criteria, according to Assistant Commissioner of Police Rodney Adams. Fielding questions from the media during a news conference at the Department of Disaster Management and Emergencies in Providenciales on Monday, December 10th, Assistant Commissioner Adams said that the groups parading as gangs were merely copycats seeking legitimacy, as far as the police were concerned, but had not evolved to gang status. Adams was responding to an incident last week at the Clement Howell High School where thugs invaded the institution with weapons, including what some eyewitnesses said were firearms. Eyewitnesses even said that the men fired shots on the compound. Dozens of children were also so said to be traumatized by the incident.
From a law enforcement perspective, okay, there might be some well-established groups, and they do not really properly meet the criteria of a gang. And certainly, as far as we are concerned from law enforcement, there will be no gangs in the Turks and Caicos Islands. Plain and simple. Okay. When you look at a gang from a global perspective, they have leaders, proper networking in place, and all of that sort of thing, right? In TCI, we have a number of persons that gather together as groups and talk about toughs, be it the Wheeling Boys, and we'll go into a couple of them, 5 Keys, and so on, right? And as far as we're concerned, they're not developed to that stage.
He said, however, that if these groups are left unattended, they could develop into properly organized networks with chains of command and line of authority.
Yes, should we not take the necessary action that is required? It can happen. But from where we sit in law enforcement, it will not happen in this country. We will challenge them, okay, and do what needs to happen in order to make sure that that does not happen in the Turks and Caicos. And I think the government has also made a statement to that effect, that gangs will not be tolerated in this country. And that is the position of law enforcement, your Royal Turks and Caicos Islands Police Force, okay? That is our position on it. And I want to get a strong message to those young individuals out there that want to classify themselves as gangs. We will deal with you accordingly, plain and simple.
In the meantime, the Assistant Commissioner of Police told the media that from reports gathered by detectives, the thugs did not have guns, but machetes, baseball bats, and other implements.
The best information that we have gathered based on our investigations to date is that the sort of weapons that would have been used would have been persons armed with machetes and some baseball bat type of weapons.
So no guns?
No, we don't have any information confirming that guns were used.
Meanwhile, Adams said that since the incident, the Royal Turks and Caicos Islands Police Force has found it necessary to post police personnel at the school in an effort to thwart an upsurge in violence among students, considering that the semester was coming to an end. He further explained that by the reopening of the school in the new year, structured long-term police presence would be at the institution. This yellow building seen here may be known to many in the TCI as the building allotted to be the barracks of the Royal Turks and Caicos Islands Police Force. However, it is being used for something far beyond that purpose. Sun TV spoke with Wayne Jackson, who explained what exactly the building is being used for.
My name is Wayne Jackson, and I'm the principal executive director for SIPT, which is the parent company for the Institute of Professional Studies and the SIPT Comprehensive High School. We moved during our midterm break. Our previous location only offered us 8 rooms in total, which included rooms for office space, rooms for dining activities, dining for students as well, and computer lab, science lab, and teaching facilities, which really, based on our growth and where we're going and so on, wasn't adequate for our needs. So we now moved to this location, which gave us twice as much space on one floor as we had previously. And now we are able to be more specialized and have specialized rooms to accommodate our needs.
The building, which is presently owned by Judith Simmons, according to Jackson, may just end up being the school's permanent home.
And they approached the owner for the building and said, it's not being used and we would love to explore the possibility of us occupying the facility. And into an arrangement, and hence we are now here. I'm really grateful for the opportunity that was provided to us by the owner of this building. This is a long-term arrangement. We hope to make it permanent. It's my personal view that we'll be able to acquire the necessary resources that we need to have to secure this property as our permanent home for the institution.
This is Sun TV, real news as it happens. We'll be right back.
Carambola Grill and Lounge on Airport Road is open 7 days a week for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We have the largest and most affordable menu in the Turks and Caicos Islands. Carambola offers an excellent blend of local and international dishes in a fully air-conditioned and relaxing environment. Dining at Carambola is always a moment to remember. We also offer free shuttle service from hotels, full catering, and event planning. Plus, free delivery for 10 orders or more. Just call Carambola at 946-8122.
The Ministry of Health and Human Services has received a number of queries about a possible salmonella outbreak. This has not been confirmed, but investigations are continuing into the reasons for an increase in the number of cases of diarrhea and vomiting over the last several weeks. According to a government press release, a response public health team has already begun investigating these reports under guidelines established by the Caribbean Epidemiology Center and Pan American Health Organization, and is doing all in their power to ensure that they deal with the matter effectively and timely. The Ministry of Health is reminding health practitioners of their reporting obligations and activities, to report any unusual or increased health activity to the Ministry of Health as soon as possible, and to remind patients about proper food safety and hygiene practices. The Ministry of Health wishes to advise the public that all precautions are being taken to ensure the health of the Turks and Caicos Islands residents and visitors. The Environmental Health Department continues to carry out ongoing assessments and monitoring of all food establishments throughout the TCI to ensure that all premises are operating according to the public and environmental health requirements. Additionally, the Ministry of Health is working closely with the InterHealth Canada hospitals and the TCI healthcare community at large. The Ministry of Health is also advising residents and visitors to continue with safe universal hygiene practices such as covering your cough, frequent hand washing, particularly after using the toilet, and before preparing or after eating food. The Ministry of Health will continue to follow the situation and issue updates as necessary. The Ministry of Health wishes to take this opportunity to remind the TCI community of the importance of minimizing opportunities to spread illness-causing germs as we enter the holiday season, as most of our festive celebrations involve food being served. For the cooks, food handlers, or servers of food, kindly remember to practice proper food safety and personal hygiene measures at all times to prevent the spread of germs that can be the Grinch that ruin the holiday season for everyone. In addition, all persons affiliated with the hotel industry, that is hoteliers, taxi drivers, etc., and persons at our air and seaports must be proactive and take extra precautions, especially in the areas of food safety and personal hygiene practices. The Royal Turks and Caicos Islands Police Force are investigating a burglary which was reported on Monday, December 10th at 5:33 p.m. A female resident of Leeward Palms, Providenciales, contacted 911 and reported that she secured her home at 7:45 in the morning and upon returning at 5:15 that afternoon, discovered that her home had been broken into. The Leeward Palms resident told police that she left her home to work, and when she returned, she discovered her home burglarized. Missing are numerous electronic items. Scenes of crime officers searched the scene for clues into this incident, and the investigation is being continued by the Criminal Investigation Department. The RTCIP are also investigating a taken motor vehicle without authority incident, which was reported on Monday, December 10th, 2012 at 10:01 p.m. in the Bight area. It was reported that a man parked his car near a church for a few minutes, and when he returned, there was no sign of his vehicle. Indications are that the owner had left the key in the ignition. The vehicle was later discovered at a gas station in Blue Hills. It was processed by scene of crime officers, and the Criminal Investigations Department is currently investigating this incident. The police department is urging drivers within the Turks and Caicos Islands not to leave their keys in their cars. And that's our Sun TV News package for today, Tuesday, December 11th, 2012. Until next time, when we bring you more real news as it happens, directly to your mobile phone, your computer, or your tablet. Until next time, I'm Leslie Garland. Thanks for watching.